Okay, well, welcome to the laboratory. We have an interesting experience for you today. You guys are not taking this online, and you may not have a laboratory that you're going live to. So here's the fetal pig. I'm taking you into the laboratory, and we're going to go through the fetal pig, and hopefully this will help you understand some of the organs and see some of the vessels and how they're actually structured, and maybe this will make this a little bit easier for you. This is something we actually do if you're taking the course live or you're coming in for a lab. You're going to be dissecting a fetal pig. And isn't that gross? Okay, but I wanted to go through the entire fetal pig with you in one session. This kind of take you through this and make sure that you're aware of this. All right, so let's start with the general organs. All right, and we're going to start at the top up here, and I've got, this is, if you could run your finger up here, you would be able to see that that is the trachea. I can feel the little cartilaginous rings. Okay, behind that I've got the esophagus, which I'll show you a little bit later. This is what's left of the thymus gland. But as we come down, here's obviously your heart. Okay, and then in the pig and the cat and those critters, instead of 5 lobes to the lung, there are 7 lobes to the lung. So we have the superior or anterior, the middle here, and then the posteriors down here. And then under the heart is a 7th lobe right here called the mediastinum. So that I think that's kind of cute, if you will. So we're going to come through the diaphragm. We've cut the diaphragm back, but this is actually it. And you can see that lovely little inferior vena cava coming up. But there's your diaphragm. And we run into the big liver right here. And we have the gallbladder, which is right here. It's not really easy to see, but there it is right there. And then we move into the stomach. So you can see the stomach. Here's the esophagus actually coming into the stomach right here. And so this is the cardia of the stomach. And then we have the little domed area right here, which is the fundus. And this is the body of the stomach. This is pretty empty stomach here. Then it goes up into the pylorus and then empties into the first part of the small intestine, which is the duodenum. And there is your pyloric sphincter between the two right there. So this is all duodenum, small intestine, and this is jejunum. And then we're going to get towards the large intestine, which you can see here. This is the easiest way to get it. Come up here, and you can see this changeover right here. All right, so this is large intestine. Here's small intestine coming in here. So this is this ileocecal valve. Cats and pigs and dogs don't have an appendix, so you don't go looking for one. All right, and so here's our large intestine going in down into the rectum. So I pull this up, I also see these guys right here. These are your kidneys. Okay, and you can see coming out of the kidney the ureter, all right, going into the bladder, all right there, a little bit of poop coming out here, all right, and then also we're going to see, gee, is this a male or a female? Good question. In this particular guys, because they're so small, it's really hard to tell, but I can see that this is actually a female because I can see the ovary coming down here. The vessels actually start up here by the kidneys, and I can see it coming down. So this is actually a female. This would not be something I would ask you on a test because it's really hard to do. Now, one of the other things that you have to do that you need to understand for AP2 are the blood vessels. And these can get a little tough, but we're going to work our way from head to toe here. All right, and you can see we have actually got these vessels dyed. So the red are the arteries and the blue are the veins on most of these, except again, pulmonary circulation. But you can see here is the superior vena cava. You're coming in here, the blue here on the side of the neck, these are the jugulars, and going across here, it would be right where your clavicle is, so those are the subclavians. So you come up and split like this, and so you're coming down, everything is draining just like this, draining into the heart. All right, now coming out of the heart, we're going to come over here, and we're going to, you don't really see the arch too well, but don't forget that in pigs and cats and dogs, there's only 2 vessels off the aortic arch, okay? You have a brachiocephalic artery, and then you have the left subclavian. All the vessels, your right subclavian and your left common carotid, your right common carotid, all come off that brachiocephalic artery. And if we look very carefully here, you can see the carotid right here and right here, okay? And you can see the subclavian artery here as it comes over, and here. And then as you get into the armpit, you basically change the name of it. It's called the axillary, and then you move into the arm, and it's the brachial. So that same vessel changes names. All right, so we're going to come down the back of the pig, and you can see right here, see that vessel right here? That's the aorta coming down. So we're going to go here, and we're going to go through the diaphragm. Okay, once we go through the diaphragm, it changes name again. We're now in the abdominal aorta. Okay, so you can see this coming through right here, and you can see these branches coming off. This, you can see the branch going into the kidneys. It's not dissected out too much, but you can see that branch right there. Here's the aorta coming down. There is your inferior vena cava. And if you look here, it's beginning to split. This is your external iliac artery, which then goes down into the legs and becomes the femorals. So you can see that entire track all the way through the pig, and you're able to trace these. All right, so that's our trip through the fetal pig. Hopefully you guys have learned something. You've been able to see the organs, you've been able to see the vessels. Hopefully this has helped you trying to see what these organisms look like inside, because you're not in the lab, and hopefully this has helped you a lot.